I always joke with my students when we walk out into the woods, I ask them what they see, and inevitably they say things like leaves and trees and shrubs and bushes and stuff like that. And I say, well, as a carbon cycle scientist, I don't see those things at all. I just see little packets of carbon hanging here or there. It isn't quite so apparent. This upper portion of the soil profile here, if we just were to take a handful of that, right, represents a huge amount of carbon and organic matter. But some of the carbon that exists in the soil here can persist for hundreds and even thousands of years. Forests in general are really a big part of the conversation with respect to carbon flows and carbon management on the landscape, and we look to them as a really important natural climate solution. Most of what that dark color is from carbon itself. There's a lot of time and energy that's spent thinking about quantifying how much carbon is out there in the woods and how long it sticks around and how it moves from one place to another as it influences atmospheric carbon dioxide, as well as supplies sort of a supporting role in terms of growing forests and providing a lot of other ecosystem services that we're interested in. There's a huge amount of biomass that's laying around on the forest floor. That's also, of course, important for habitat as well as something that we can quantify in terms of the carbon cycle. What you see above ground is only about 50% of the plant biomass that exists in a forest. There's, for every bit that you see above ground, there's an equal amount that goes below ground in terms of their root systems. And so understanding how that carbon then is fixed in the leaves and pushed below ground, I think, is really important. And then ultimately understanding the fate of that carbon is also really critical. We've seen the growth of voluntary carbon markets, and there are huge sums of money being traded in terms of carbon capture and sequestration. And so our students today are being trained in carbon quantification and carbon cycle science so that they can contribute to this new carbon economy, essentially. There are going to be a great number of jobs in the future that are being able to come out into the woods and account for carbon in the same way that bankers today might account for dollars and cents. And so thinking about where it hides and where it accrues faster or where you might be losing it is a really important part of what they're going to need to be able to do to contribute to the new carbon economy moving forward.